Hi there! Welcome to TWC's Exchange Visitor Pre-Arrival Information Session. Throughout this session, we'll be talking about the J-1 visa process and what steps you'll take to secure your visa. As a TWC international student, you participate in our programs as an intern or trainee J-1 exchange visitor. The exchange visitor non-immigrant visa category is for individuals approved to participate in work and study-based exchange visitor programs. The Exchange Visitor Program is overseen by the U.S. Department of State, and your visa is sponsored by the Washington Center. TWC is one of the few organizations in the greater DC area that facilitates the J-1 visa process for international students. As you can see from this timeline, the J-1 visa process only begins after you've accepted an internship offer. Once you have a confirmed internship placement, we'll begin processing your visa documents. Only when you are given or mailed the J-1 visa after your visa interview will you be able to travel to the U.S. Overall, the visa process typically takes about 3 weeks, but it can vary by country. What happens after you have accepted an internship placement? First, we will work with your internship site to create your Training/Internship Placement Plan, Form DS-7002, also known as the TIP. Once your DS-7002 has been completed and signed by your internship supervisor, we'll email it to you for your electronic signature. Second, once you sign your DS-7002, we'll create your SEVIS record and issue your DS-2019, which is the document that allows you to apply for the J-1 visa as an intern or trainee. Federal regulations don't allow the electronic transmission of the DS-2019, so third, we ship your visa packet via UPS, United Parcel Service. This visa packet includes the DS-7002 and DS-2019 forms, which you'll need for your visa interview. You'll receive the tracking number directly from UPS. The packet typically takes between 2 to 5 days to arrive, and it'll contain your TWC acceptance letter, your DS-2019 form, your DS-7002 form, pre-arrival information, and your TWC J-1 visa registration form. If your mailing address is different than what was on your TWC application, please email visainfo@twc.edu with your updated address so that your visa packet arrives at the correct location. Lastly, on the day that we ship your visa packet, we'll also send you an email to let you know your SEVIS ID, which you'll need in order to make an appointment at the nearest U.S. Embassy for your visa interview. The timeline for this process, from when you accept your internship offer to when we're able to ship your visa packet and email your SEVIS ID, typically is 3 to 7 business days. So when you don't receive your SEVIS ID right away after accepting your internship, don't panic. We start working on your visa documents as soon as possible. It's not an instant process, but we make every effort to send your visa documents in a timely manner. What do I do after I receive my SEVIS ID? Non-Canadian passport holders. First, you'll need to fill out the DS-160 non-immigrant online visa form. You can use TWC's address and contact information when filling out this form. This has to be completed before you can schedule your visa interview. Second, you'll need to pay your SEVIS fee. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security requires a SEVIS fee payment for every J-1 visa applicant prior to the visa interview or travel to the U.S. This fee is prepaid for students in fully funded programs such as Ford, Prudential, Gibraltar, and Excels. All other students will receive payment instructions via email with links to the SEVIS website. Third, you'll use your SEVIS ID to schedule an appointment online at the nearest U.S. Embassy or consulate, preferably in your home country. If necessary, you can have your J-1 visa interview at a U.S. Embassy outside of your home country. In either case, you may need to pay an additional $160 fee to book an interview at the embassy. This booking fee varies by country. You must have your visa packet in hand on the day of your appointment. When scheduling your appointment, please be sure to schedule it on a future date that takes into account the shipping time for your visa packet. Lastly, once you have received your visa packet and have scheduled your visa interview at a U.S. Embassy, take some time to review the guidelines in the pre-arrival guide before your interview to be sure you are fully prepared. Please make sure you receive your DS-2019 form back from the consular officer after they have stamped it during your interview. You will need it to enter the U.S. What do I do after I receive my SEVIS ID? Canadian passport holders. Canadian J-1 visa applicants, like all other exchange visitors, must pay the SEVIS I-901 fee and have it processed before applying for entry at the U.S. border. Be sure to pay the fee and print the receipt at least 3 days prior to traveling to the U.S. Once you have paid your SEVIS fee, however, you do not need to schedule a visa interview. Canadian citizens aren't required to attend a J-1 visa interview at a U.S. embassy or consulate. You can instead obtain your J-1 visa stamp on your passport at a U.S. port of entry when traveling to the U.S. Please be sure to ask the officer for a J-1 stamp and not a tourist stamp. Visa appointment wait times. This chart shows the average wait time for a J-1 visa in a few sample cities. This includes the number of days it takes to get an interview combined with the number of days it takes for the embassy to process the visa after your interview. Please keep this in consideration when you book your travel to the U.S. Visa appointment wait times are subject to change, so be sure to look up current wait times at your nearest U.S. embassy or consulate at this link. The pre-arrival grace period. After your J-1 visa has been issued, you can enter the U.S. up to 30 days in advance of the program start date shown on your DS 2019. This 30-day early arrival period is known as the grace period. For example, if your program start date is August 26th, you can enter the U.S. starting July 27th. Important note: once you enter the U.S. on your J-1 visa, you can't leave and re-enter the U.S. without a signature on your DS 2019 form from the Washington Center. The grace period does not mean that you can start your internship or use TWC housing in advance. You will not be able to begin your program until the date stated on your DS 2019. For this purpose, TWC recommends purchasing your airline flights only after you've received your J-1 visa. If you book your airplane ticket in advance, we strongly advise that you book a flexible ticket that has the ability to be changed, so you're not subject to flight change or rescheduling fees. Please avoid buying non-refundable or non-transferable airline tickets. The 30-day grace period also applies at the end of the program. You cannot leave and re-enter the U.S. during this grace period either. J-1 visa extensions are not allowed unless you re-enroll for the following semester. Health insurance requirement. As an exchange visitor, you must have health insurance coverage for the full duration of the program. Government regulations state that if you don't maintain health insurance coverage, TWC must terminate your J-1 visa and report the termination to the U.S. Department of State. It is critical to have health insurance while in the U.S. Individuals and families in the U.S. are responsible for healthcare costs. A single day of hospitalization and medical treatment can cost thousands of dollars. For the full health insurance minimum coverage requirements, please review page 6 of the pre-arrival guide that you received via email. If you don't have health insurance, contact visainfo@twc.edu and we can assist you with this process. Post-arrival J-1 visa orientation. Once you arrive in DC for the start of your program, you will attend a mandatory J-1 visa orientation session with TWC. You will also submit the J-1 visa registration form and other required J-1 check-in documents, such as copies of your J-1 visa stamp, health insurance information, airline return ticket, and your signed DS 2019 form at this session. As soon as I've received all of these documents from you, I will validate your visa in the State Department's online system. Thank you for watching this webinar. We are excited to welcome you to DC and to help guide you through the J-1 visa process. You will receive emails regarding the steps described in this presentation, and you'll receive a hard copy of the J-1 visa pre-arrival guide, which explains the J-1 visa process in depth, including how to prepare for your visa interview, and includes important information regarding the 212E 2-year home country residence requirement, living expenses in DC, and health insurance requirements. If you have specific questions regarding your situation, please contact us at visainfo@twc.edu.